Hi Leo, welcome to channel 143. I'm Antonia. I'm going to be doing two spreads for you guys for the month of November 2018. The first spread will be a general energies reading, which will include anything that needs to come up from finances, love, health. And then the second spread that I'm going to be doing will be love specific. I will have timestamps below in case you want to jump to one or the other. I do recommend watching both because they tend to tie in together really well. I also recommend watching your sun sign and your moon sign because keep in mind these are general readings for many people. So to get the most out of this, it is good to at a bare minimum watch both your sun and your moon video horoscopes, okay? So let's jump into this, Leo. General reading for Leo, November 2018. What are you trying to manifest? Came out really quickly. Definitely channeling. Leo, are you trying to manifest a new career or a new direction in life? I think this pertains mostly to your career right now. That's more in alignment with your soul purpose. Have you done the work to figure out what your soul purpose is? That's definitely a big message that's coming through for you guys right now. Yeah, there's something about your career. There's something about what you're currently doing. It's definitely career specific right now for you guys. There's something that is out of balance, okay? Sitting in the middle of this reading is give and receive. For those of you in careers where you feel like you're not giving back enough, it's money focused. And maybe that served a purpose for a while, but I see that you guys feel like your talents have gone unnoticed. Your abilities to truly connect to other people and help other people, that part of you isn't being fulfilled right now, okay? So a lot of you are brainstorming and trying to manifest some sort of new change in your career. Yeah, it might involve children. It might involve children here. Let me get a few cards on the table to get a little more clarity for you guys. But one thing, yeah, what do you desire? Okay, a big message that's coming through for you guys is Spirit is specifically asking you to invest energy into figuring out what it is you want your life to look like. What will bring you the most joy? How will you feel the most fulfilled? Because there's a disconnect right now. The work you're doing isn't making your heart happy. Some of you may actually be feeling a little depressed because you feel like your efforts are just, not that they're pointless, but they're not serving a bigger purpose. It's not an alignment of your highest good. You're really feeling a disconnect with your soul. And it's something that's making your heart really heavy. You feel very unfulfilled. I'm getting this incredible sense of feeling very unfulfilled. Okay, focus on service is being clarified with cleanse and detox. So just to further affirm, what you're doing right now for many of you, work-wise, is actually toxic. It might be the environment that you're working in. It may be a specific community. It might be coworkers. It might be a boss. But I'm actually getting more of a collective. There's something collective. So getting the word faculty right now. So if you're a teacher, a faculty, someone who's running something, it could be a government. It could be larger. Something is extremely toxic right now. But the positive in this for you, Leo, is that you're being put through the ringer so that you don't settle for this anymore. And once upon a time, this job served a purpose for you. And it may have just served a purpose to pay your bills. There's nothing wrong with that. But your soul is yearning to connect with people now, okay? It's more than just desperately needing to be away from the toxicity. The toxicity of whatever situation you're in is pushing you closer and closer to your soul purpose, to your life purpose. It's pushing you closer and closer to just walk out the door and not come back. Now, I know you have to be realistic, right? We live, in an earthly, grounded world, and we have bills to pay. It's a part of life. I get that you can't just up and leave. For those of you who can, take advantage of that. But for most people, that's not really an option. But I'm really getting this message for you, okay? Spirit needs clarity. If you leave your current profession, or even if you continue to stay in the same fields, but you just find a new company to work for, a different school system, whatever that is, okay? You're trying to fulfill this without giving universe specific clarity as to what it is that you want, okay? So what I'm channeling with this card is to make lists. Sit down and really genuinely journal. What are your passions? What is it that you're trying to achieve? I'm really feeling for a lot of you, you're working with children, possibly young children. That's why I'm getting teachers for many of you. Okay, you're working with children. How would you like to better connect? If you were to move from the school system you're in now to, say, another school system, maybe it will require you moving to a different state. What would you hope that they would have there? A better budget? Different programs? Because I'm just getting this visual, right? Giving and receiving that's out of whack. It's like where you work doesn't have enough money to buy the materials that the children that go to school there need, right? And so it comes out of your pocket. And how incredible are you for doing that for your kids, but you're either not making enough money to do that, or maybe the school isn't allowing you to do what it is you want, particular activities. There's just some sort of disconnect with where you're at. And here's the thing, it is a blessing in disguise. It's showing up in a very brutal way for you, I think, because universe has given you some signs that maybe you haven't taken, or maybe felt like you couldn't fulfill. And so you're being forced out the door now, okay? Don't miss this message. Now, if you're not a teacher, this could apply to any work scenario. But you guys are definitely feeling a disconnect of heart, a disconnect with your passion, a disconnect with life purpose. And that's okay. Hitting that place is so incredibly important because it motivates you to sit down and do the work, to figure out what this next step is. Brainstorm. You may have 10 different ideas of things that you'd be passionate about, businesses that you would be good at. Brainstorm with yourself. Brainstorm with the universe. Even just sitting down, even if you don't have every little thing figured out, and that's okay, just having the energy out there will manifest change for you, okay? For those of you going through some health issues right now, particularly in your heart chakra, your lungs, your chest in some capacity, a deep cleanse will help you. A juice cleanse, an herbal cleanse. I'm getting more herbal cleanse. Some of you just need to drink a lot more water. It'll be as simple as that. Sometimes I'm getting, I think it's pink Himalayan sea salt. I'm getting this visual of pink Himalayan sea salt. Sometimes when you have a cough that won't go away, and this sounds so simple, but it actually can be very effective, you mix it with room temperature water and you drink it. It draws out whatever's really stubborn and stuck in there and will help start to tone down the cough. But what I'm getting for most of you, if you're sick, it's buried emotion. It's buried emotion. It's the stress from this job. It's feeling like you're stuck in something that just doesn't matter to you anymore. And emotionally, it's really starting to torture you. And I think that people around you are extremely difficult to work with right now. But there's a reason for that, okay? It's another sign you're being given. Yeah, opportunity to forgive. Now, for opportunity to forgive, it's not so much, it's not even so much forgiveness. It's acceptance. It's understanding that people who are being difficult, people who are not being particularly kind to you right now, they're serving a purpose for your higher good. They are a conduit for the universe to connect with you right now, because there have been other signs. I'm definitely getting that there were other signs, but you genuinely felt like you just, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Are you going to go back to school? Well, for some of you, you might. But I'm getting for others of you, I mean, that's just not feasible right now. But there is a solution to this. There's definitely a solution to this, but you have to sit down and do some work. You really have to do your own homework. See only love. Okay. Even in your current situation, what I'm getting for a lot of you, it could also be karmic. It's a piece of the puzzle. Yeah. Okay. Let me show you this. I really think a lot of you are teachers. I'm just getting teacher over and over. You want to connect with your kids, okay? You want to connect, whether they're your children at home, whether they study with you in some capacity, you're a tutor, you're a teacher full-time, maybe you work at a preschool. You want to take care and love them. You want to help children heal, and maybe it's a difficult environment. Maybe parents won't let you connect with the children in the way that you feel like you really could to make the biggest difference, okay? But let's go back to karma for a second. Yes, that's definitely what's coming through. Okay. Sometimes difficult situations show up. They seem toxic, okay? I want to show you this one. Let's pull this out front. They seem a little bit toxic, and that's because they are. Maybe different faces, same issue showing up, okay? It's an opportunity for you to react differently right now. Instead of being angry that somebody was a little condescending, instead of resisting when someone tells you, no, we're not allowing you to do that with your children, or we don't have enough money, or whatever the case is. What is the deeper meaning here? A sign from universe giving you the sign to genuinely consider a different career path or a different environment. That person who's condescending at your job, for some of you, they remind you of your mother or your father. The very first person you think of. That's who it is. And there's this karmic element that's attached to them. Now, here's the thing. You can move on to a different environment, but until you deal with this karma and at least acknowledge this pattern that's continuing to repeat, this mom or dad energy that's showing up for you as an adult in this environment, until you acknowledge it, it will continue to repeat with new people wherever you go. So before you leave, before you start out on a new adventure here, please tie up these loose ends. And this may not happen overnight. You may have to finish out a school year. You may have to finish out a semester. You may have to stick it out a few more months. For what it's worth, it will be worth it for you in the end, okay? I know it's difficult, but there are hidden blessings in this situation if you see love. If you say, okay, well, I'm going to have healthy boundaries. Instead of getting all upset and reactive, I recognize when this person does this, that this is, whoever from my past showing up again. Okay, universe, I see the karma in this. How can you send them love? You recognize that person who's being condescending to you, they're deeply insecure. Can you feel a little compassion for that? The more love that you can infuse into the situation, the more understanding, the more compassion that you bring to the table with these people. It doesn't mean that you have to tolerate bad behavior. That's not what it is. You need to have healthy boundaries with them, okay? But the more compassion you bring to the table, the more healing will come full circle for you, and the quicker it will come full circle for you. But another message here in dealing with these people is being assertive. It's not about being aggressive, and it's definitely not about being passive aggressive. Those two extremes, they won't get you anywhere in this. It will just create more karma. And you'll be showing the universe that, you know, you're not ready to move on from it. The second you realize it is a karmic lesson showing up in your workspace, sometimes overnight it does start to heal very quickly. All of a sudden that person decides they're going to take another job somewhere else, or a new job opens up for you, or it's just calmer, it's more peaceful, okay? But it's about forgiveness at the core of this. Giving and receiving an opportunity to forgive are at the center of this reading. There is something deeply, deeply karmic. Now, when you start to handle the situation, and it takes some trial and error. Sometimes karmas show up, karmic lessons, and we go, okay, I'm going to react differently. You still may not handle it perfectly the first time around. It's okay. You'll have other opportunities. Karmic lessons don't go away until we've truly learned them. But the message for you is to learn how to handle them differently with healthy boundaries and see some sort of love and compassion there. Okay? But don't take anybody's shit. Like, that's not the message. You're allowed. Exercise that self-love. You have to have that at the core. From that point, you start to manifest. You start to brainstorm what it is that you truly want. How do you want work to feel when you're there? What environment? Can you make a list of like 5 core things that you can't live without? What pay do you deserve? If it's in the same field, how can universe open a new door and bring in something that's healthier, more fulfilling? So say you're a teacher and there are budget cuts, and okay, you move into a different school system. Maybe it's another city, a different state. Would you hope that they have a budget for music? Is that something that's a priority to them? Music, sports, you know? Make a list of these things that this will help universe connect you to your life purpose with much more ease, okay? But the other part of this too that I started to talk about at the beginning of this video was this focus on service, this disconnect for you guys. What is it? Maybe you don't want to be a teacher anymore. Maybe you're over it, okay? You realize maybe the school systems, it's very political and you see things in a different way, and you've always wanted to help children, but you realize, okay, I still want to do that. I still want to connect with children, but how can I do it different now? You really need to brainstorm on this. What does your heart need? What is your life purpose? Spirit will help you. Once you start to brainstorm, you'll get more signs, you'll have more clarity, you'll start to channel things. Other people will show up and present new opportunities to you. Or when you're applying to other places, you'll actually hear back from people in a reasonable amount of time. But there's something very karmic going on with you guys right now. I'm also getting that some of you don't want to be in a 9-to-5 anymore. Are you over that? You want to work on something a little more creative. Yes. Okay. I think some of you have just been doing so much work, changing your life. And this is a beautiful affirmation that Spirit recognizes that you've done a ton of work. And maybe you're a little further along than other Leos right now, and you've maybe started that new business or that new job, or you've come a long way dealing with those karmic lessons, and reward yourself. You've done a great job. But what I'm getting for so many of you, even with this card, is children again. I'm getting children. You love working with children, and you're so good at it. They love you. You connect in a way that many other people can't. It's just something very special for you, and it's very pure, and it genuinely comes from love. And that's why it's so frustrating in your current job. You can't have this connection. You can't reach these kids like you genuinely want and need to, okay? The acceptance card is understanding that it is going to be time to go for so many of you. Accept that you can't keep fighting the same people in the same system. Accept that it's scary as hell to start a new business, to start over at a new company. But it's time. Be honest with yourself about this, okay? Because the more you resist that, the harder the karmic lessons will continue to be, and the more volatile the environment will be, until you just literally, you just wake up one day and you say, I can't do it anymore. Do you see this? Bottom of the deck right now, creative project, children's books. Getting children's books and music teachers. Hey, music teachers, have you considered teaching music privately? Private lessons? You can do it through Skype and connect with people all over. I'm really getting teachers, but so many of you are creative, and the creative project card at the bottom is just a beautiful affirmation that it's time to move on and really fulfill that part of yourself that hasn't been tapped into in a while. The Ocean card is underneath creative project. This is another detox card. Some of you may also get a new job in an area, a new city, a new town, by the water, by the ocean. But for most of you, this is going to be cleansing and detoxing. You need more water. You just need more water, especially for those of you who've been sick, who have that congestion in their chest. 8 cups of water, I don't think you're coming close to that. But even if you are, you need way more. And I'm telling you, that sea salt, but I'm getting pink Himalayan sea salt. Mix some of that in. Google it so you know what it is that I'm talking about. That's a very specific message I'm being told to tell you. Not even white sea salt. I'm talking pink Himalayan sea salt. But it's for your heart chakra. It makes sense, okay? You know, Leo, I want to move on to your love reading, but I'm just getting this really stagnant energy, and it's showing up in the cards. It's showing up in how I'm channeling and what I'm channeling right now. I think some of you just feel so incredibly stuck, but you've actually done more work than I think you're giving yourself credit for. I mean, this card doesn't come up otherwise. There are plenty of other children cards in the deck. You actually are doing an incredibly good job. Please reward yourself. If you're working too hard, you need a day off. So you can't manifest anything for the future if you're busy all the time. You need silence. You need silence to hear spirit. You need to self-nurture. But you're doing a great job. Okay? But let's jump into love. I do think for some of you, what's preventing you from fulfilling the creative projects is a family situation too. Now, this could be why children is coming up so prominently in your spread as well, okay? Yeah, so you have children, you have responsibilities, you just can't abandon work to go hide in a corner and, like, write stuff. I get it. But you need to balance. I am definitely getting the energy that family will be more supportive about your creative projects. There's good energy there for you. There's something divinely guided here. Have you heard the message? What have you been thinking of? Even if you keep brushing it off, why would I ever do that? That doesn't make any sense. I'm just getting that you're not hearing the message, but spirit is saying this thing that we keep showing you, that you keep thinking about, that you're just obsessively, even when it doesn't make sense. It's that thing. That is the key to fulfilling your life purpose. Take a chance. Your family will really support you. They may even need this. Because the happier you are in your life choices, the better relationships you're going to have, the better energy you bring home. Okay, but let's jump into your love reading before this gets too long. But Leos, I was getting this a few weeks ago in your reading too, that you need to be doing something different. Accept that a chapter has ended. It may not even just be a chapter for you. Accept that maybe like this one whole book, you're so used to reading it. Maybe you've read it a million times, you can recite it by heart. It's done. Put it aside. Start writing something new. Start on chapter 1 of this new life that you want. There's this incredibly powerful, positive energy around you, and yet for some reason you still want this old thing to work out. Why? Well, part of the pull to the old thing is the karmic lesson that either hasn't been learned at all or you haven't come full circle with it yet. The sooner you acknowledge that it's karmic, though, the quicker that process will go. Sometimes that literally does happen overnight. I've seen it, okay? In my own life, too. This resistance you have is holding you back from something bigger and better. But let's move on to your love reading, okay? Leo, love and relationships for November 2018. Leo, love, relationships. Release your ex. Okay. Maybe part of what you're holding on to that is holding you back is this person. Is that preventing you from moving forward in your career? Yes. Could that possibly be some of that toxic energy that was coming up in the last spread? Yes. Release your ex is followed by the honeymoon card. This is interesting. Well, for some of you, to release your ex, you need to travel. Reconciliation is actually sitting in the middle of this, though. Let me pull a few more cards, Leo. This is a mixed message right here. Okay. All right, Leo. Some of this karmic energy that's affecting you at work, they're lessons that you've actually been repeating in one of your most prominent romantic relationships. Now, that will still tie back to family. It usually does. You do tend to attract what we know. And so, if we like it, that's cool. And if not, we learn to heal it and change it and manifest something different. Yeah, for some of you guys. For some of you, I'm reluctant to say this because I'm really getting an energy for you guys that getting back together with your ex is not the best thing. The reconciliation card is sitting there as an option. For some of you, you have to release it if you want to move forward with your life. Why? Because there's this karmic thing. It's draining you. The karmic lesson may be you are deserving of something better. You need your energy for you. If you're constantly going back to old stuff and old people, rehashing the same things that never really heal, you're too distracted to move forward with your life. How could you possibly have the energy to start a new business, to start a new venture, to move somewhere? For some of you, this honeymoon card isn't just a vacation. Some of you just need to take a vacation. You need some physical space away from this person that's been hurting you, or this relationship that's been so trying to you. But some of you are moving somewhere close to the water. Okay? There's something about that for you. You're traveling. If you're not moving, you're definitely traveling. Yeah. Release your ex is clarified by separation. So obviously a lot of Leos are going through some tough times in love. You want to reconcile. I understand that that's what you want, but is it of your highest good? What Spirit's telling me, for the majority of you Leos, even though you want this, you're only meant to forgive them and to learn the lessons and to move on. Some of you are going to do this anyway. Sometimes we need to do this to learn the lessons, to move on. Sometimes we just need to go through it one more time. But I am not getting the energy for the majority of you that if you reconcile, anything's going to be terribly different. I'm sorry, I'm just not getting that. There's a small percentage, a small percentage. And I'm really getting this more for those of you who are truly committed. You have children, you have family, you're married, you've been together for a very long time. There's some forgiving and learning that you can do to truly consciously make an effort toward repairing your relationship. Going on a vacation together, whether it's a true vacation where you're truly traveling, or maybe it's just you do something special, a date night. But I'm really seeing that if you're going to repair this, you need some serious time away together. Just to have fun, but the deep conversations, legit repair, it'll take work though. That won't be easy. But that's really, I'm getting like 2%. I'm not getting more than 2% of Leos that applies to. For most of you, you want the reconciliation, but it is not of your highest good. Understand that if you stay, you are choosing to continue to repeat the same old karmic lessons. If you haven't learned them yet, then maybe that serves a purpose for you. But it's about forgiving and learning and moving on for the majority of you, especially in November. I know that's heavy. And you know, oftentimes when you get out of relationships or when something ends, especially a love relationship, you start to look at the rest of your life. So if you're being unfulfilled at work too, well, you now have the courage to walk away from someone you love. That's the hardest thing of all. Why then would you stay in a work situation that hurts your soul too? The children card again. For some of you, like I said, you're married, you have children, it'll be worth it for you to travel together, maybe get some therapy, some healing, to genuinely, truly make the effort to stay together. But the children card, this was coming up so strong in the first in the general reading. For some of you, the separation in love is spotlighting, one, how much you want children of your own, how much you love and care about your current children, and so you want them to be exposed to healthier circumstances or a healthier family environment. I'm really getting, for some of you, you want to be able to connect to children. You just have this very special, very pure, very divine connection to them. And you're that teacher that they have, that when they're an adult, they still remember your name. They remember something that you taught them, that you gave them from that place of love. I just got music teacher again. Some of you that are happily coupled, wow, this is a huge jump, right? Totally different energy. Some of you are going to go on a honeymoon and you're going to get pregnant. Some of you, or your partner will, you're going to travel. And if you've been having an issue, any issues conceiving, just the nature, the energy, the carefree, whatever it is, that's a really beautiful energy, Leo. For those of you happily coupled, wow. Ooh. Engagements following that beautiful energy. I have a message for you, but I'm going to pull 2 cards, and then I'm going to show you what's here on the table, okay? Thank you for being patient, Leo. I know these messages, there's stagnant energy, and I know how frustrating that is to you. I get it. I can feel that energy. It's even communicating this to you. It's like, ugh, why is everything stuck right now, you know? But I promise it will come unstuck. There's just some karmic stuff that needs to be dealt with. I'm going to show you something awesome here. Yes. All right. Release your ex is clarified by separation, okay? Pretty self-explanatory. For those of you who do this, who trust in the message that it's time for them to go, the reconciliation is not of the highest good, this is what's in store for you if you truly allow yourself to move on from your ex. no specific order. Can you see this? Children, honeymoon, engagement. Leo. I bet you weren't expecting that, right? Because this has been kind of a tough energy that we've been talking about. Look at all this beautiful energy that comes into you and into your life. For those of you who are happily coupled, something is accelerating to a new level. Even if you've been together for many, many years, there's some sort of rekindling of something. With this honeymoon card, things get maybe a little sexy on the vacation or something. Spend a little more time that maybe you haven't had together. Ascending, your love life is ascending to a higher level. What a beautiful energy that is. But here's what happens. If you take this route, release your ex in this reconciliation because you don't actually want to release your ex. You're just holding on for dear life. I don't know why, because I don't think they're particularly loving or good for you, and I think you know that. But I mean, the heart, I get it. I've completely been down that road. You will again have this disconnect. You rekindle something with this person, and you will again be faced with these karmic lessons that will not go away. They're not changing. The dynamic between you is not changing. The chemistry that wasn't there will not just magically appear. It's over. You have the choice to step back into that cycle or to step out of that cycle and start something brand new. If you start something brand new and you don't fall into this trap. I feel like it's a trap, okay? It just does not feel like a positive decision to make. Although, sitting at the center, I know you want this. Many of you want this. But if you don't do this, the honeymoon, children, engagement, trust in it. Let me pull a couple of crowning cards. Leo, I know this is tough, right? You're like, okay, so I need a new job and a new relationship. It's because you've evolved. You have evolved and the people around you have not. Once upon a time, these work situations, these romantic relationships, they served a purpose in your life. They don't anymore. And it's not because you did anything wrong. It's because you did the right thing. You have evolved leaps and bounds beyond people around you. When is all of this going to happen? All this good stuff? The new job, the fulfilled life purpose, the children, the engagement, the honeymoon. But you have to do the work and you have to trust that thing you're holding on to, whether it's love, whether it's a business, it's holding you back. It's time to go now. But you have so much positivity there. So much. The universe really is supporting you. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it though, especially when these crazy people keep showing up, especially at work. Some of you at work are just going through some crazy stuff there, huh? This is what's coming in. Did I say your honeymoon, you're going to have some like great kind of sexy trip and then, But for those of you that are single, not only will you have a partner that you feel passionate about, who will feel passionately about you, this beautiful, looks like new love after this long overdue separation, but I'm also getting to tell you that you will come into alignment with your life purpose that you will truly be fulfilled by and feel passionate about every single day. Okay, I know this is getting quite long, but I love you guys. Hang in there. The energy is flowing, okay? We're coming out of Venus retrograde. We've got a Mercury retrograde coming up, but 2019 is going to be a much easier year for you, but you're going to start to notice the difference this month, okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and you can reach out for more clarity individually or for healing if you need it, okay? My contact information is below. I love you guys. Have a wonderful November, and I'll see you back either mid-month or for December 1st. Ciao.